The case of Elizabeth and Henry Thompson might seem like just another tragic family story, but the truth is far more complex and disturbing than anyone could have imagined. In the quiet suburbs of Millbrook, where manicured lawns and white picket fences typically mask the darkest of secrets, the Thompson family home stood as a testament to a nightmare that would challenge everything we understand about family, loyalty, and survival. Elizabeth Thompson was known in her community as a pillar of strength, a woman who had weathered more storms than most could ever comprehend. Her husband Henry, a respected local accountant, appeared to be the quintessential family man, reliable, hardworking, and seemingly without blemish. But beneath the surface of their meticulously maintained home lay a web of secrets so intricate and terrifying that it would make even the most seasoned investigators question the very nature of human relationships. What started as a routine investigation into a missing persons case would soon unravel into something far more sinister. Local authorities had received an anonymous tip that suggested something was terribly wrong within the Thompson household, but nothing could have prepared them for the layers of darkness they were about to uncover. The first clue came from an old photograph, a seemingly innocuous family portrait that would become the key to understanding a decades-long mystery that had been carefully concealed behind closed doors. As we delve deeper into the Thompson case, we'll discover that some family secrets are never meant to be brought into the light. Some stories are so disturbing that they force us to question everything we thought we knew about the people closest to us. Elizabeth and Henry Thompson's story is not just a tale of personal tragedy, but a chilling reminder that the most dangerous secrets often hide in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. The stakes of uncovering the Thompson family's secret were far higher than anyone could have anticipated. If the truth remained buried, the generational trauma would continue to poison the lives of those connected to this story. Local investigators initially dismissed the case as another mundane family dispute, but those who knew the details understood something far more sinister was at play. The first breakthrough came from an unlikely source, an old safety deposit box discovered in the basement of a local bank, tucked away in a forgotten corner and only recently brought to light during a routine audit. Inside, a collection of documents told a story that would send shockwaves through the entire community. Handwritten letters, carefully preserved photographs, and a series of cryptic journal entries began to paint a picture that was both horrifying and deeply tragic. What made the Thompson case particularly disturbing was the intricate web of lies that had been carefully constructed over decades. Family members who seemed closest to Elizabeth and Henry had no idea about the darkness that lurked just beneath the surface of their seemingly perfect suburban life. Each document, each piece of evidence, revealed another layer of a conspiracy that stretched back generations, challenging everything the community thought they knew about the Thompson family. The most chilling aspect was how meticulously the truth had been hidden. Small inconsistencies that had gone unnoticed for years suddenly took on a much more sinister meaning. A missing photograph here, an unexplained absence there. Each fragment was a piece of a puzzle that, when put together, would reveal a truth so unbelievable that it would make even the most hardened investigators question the very nature of family, loyalty, and survival. The first significant location in our investigation was the Thompson family's original homestead, a sprawling Victorian-era house tucked away in the outskirts of Millbrook. From the moment researchers stepped onto the property, it was clear that this was no ordinary abandoned home. The house stood as a silent witness to decades of carefully guarded secrets, its walls seemingly holding their breath, waiting to reveal the truth. Initial exploration of the main living areas revealed a meticulously maintained interior that spoke of an obsessive need for control. Every piece of furniture seemed positioned with surgical precision, family photographs arranged in a way that suggested careful curation rather than genuine familial warmth. It was in the study that the first truly shocking discovery began to take shape. Hidden behind a seemingly innocuous bookshelf, researchers discovered a concealed compartment that would become the turning point of the entire investigation. The contents of this hidden space were both mundane and terrifying. Stacks of carefully preserved documents, each wrapped in protective plastic, told a story that began to unravel the carefully constructed facade of the Thompson family. Personal letters, bank statements, and what appeared to be medical records painted a picture of a family living on the razor's edge of a carefully maintained lie. Each document added another layer to a narrative that was becoming increasingly complex and disturbing. Most chilling were the personal notes, fragments of journal entries that hinted at a darkness that went far beyond simple family secrets. Handwritten marginalia, cryptic references to events that seemed to span generations, suggested a pattern of behavior that was both calculated and deeply traumatic. It was clear that Elizabeth and Henry Thompson were not just passive participants in their own story, but active architects of a conspiracy that had been brewing for decades. As researchers continued to meticulously document their findings, it became increasingly apparent that this was no ordinary family mystery. The Thompson case was a labyrinth of psychological manipulation, hidden truths, and a generational cycle of trauma that seemed to defy all logical explanation. What had begun as a simple investigation was quickly transforming into something far more sinister, a story that would challenge everything we thought we knew about family, survival, and the lengths people will go to protect their most deeply guarded secrets. The second location in our investigation was far less expected, a small archive room tucked away in the basement of the local county courthouse. What initially seemed like a routine review of historical documents would become the critical turning point in understanding the true depth of the Thompson family's dark legacy. The musty room, filled with decades-old file boxes and forgotten records, held secrets that had been intentionally buried by generations of local officials. As researchers began to sift through the seemingly mundane administrative documents, a pattern emerged that was both subtle and terrifying. Interconnected files spanning multiple decades told a story that went far beyond a simple family mystery. Medical records, court documents, and sealed testimony began to paint a picture of a systematic cover-up that involved not just the Thompson family, but influential members of the entire community. The most disturbing discovery came in a set of sealed files that required special clearance to access. These documents revealed a complex network of relationships, cover-ups, and interventions that stretched back generations. What had initially appeared to be isolated incidents were now revealed as part of a much larger, more sinister pattern of behavior. Each page brought new revelations that challenged everything researchers thought they knew about the Thompson family and the community that had protected them. Most chilling were the personal annotations found in the margins of these documents. Handwritten notes from local officials, cryptic references to events that had been carefully erased from official records, suggested a level of complicity that went far beyond simple bureaucratic oversight. It became increasingly clear that the Thompson case was not just a family tragedy, but a systemic failure that had allowed dark secrets to fester for decades. As the pieces of the puzzle began to come together, researchers realized they were uncovering something far more significant than a simple family mystery. The Thompson case had become a window into the darkest corners of human nature, a stark reminder of how secrets can be buried, how truth can be manipulated, and how the most dangerous lies are often those hiding in plain sight. With each new document, with each carefully preserved piece of evidence, the true extent of the Thompson family's legacy began to emerge. A story so disturbing that it would challenge everything we thought we knew about trust, family, and the lengths people will go to protect their most deeply guarded secrets. The final location of our investigation would prove to be the most shocking revelation of all. A remote cabin nestled deep in the woods, miles from any main road, that would become the ultimate key to understanding the Thompson family's darkest secret. It was here, in this isolated and seemingly forgotten place, that the final pieces of the puzzle would come together in a way that no one could have anticipated. From the moment researchers approached the cabin, something felt different. Unlike the carefully maintained Thompson family home, or the meticulously organized courthouse archives, this location spoke of a hastily abandoned refuge. The structure itself seemed to lean slightly, as if bearing the weight of decades of hidden truths. Broken windows and a door hanging slightly ajar suggested that this was a place that had been left in a moment of sudden, desperate departure. Inside, the cabin told a story that defied all previous assumptions about Elizabeth and Henry Thompson. Personal items were scattered seemingly at random: a half-packed suitcase, photographs torn into fragments, documents deliberately shredded but not entirely destroyed. It was as if someone had been interrupted in the middle of erasing their entire existence, leaving behind a trail of evidence that would ultimately expose the most shocking truth of all. The most critical discovery came hidden beneath a loose floorboard, a collection of documents that would finally explain the intricate web of secrets that had defined the Thompson family for generations. These were not just papers, but a complete narrative of a conspiracy so profound, so deeply ingrained, that it would shake the very foundations of everything the community thought they knew about Elizabeth and Henry. What emerged was a story of survival, of generational trauma, of secrets so dark that they had been carefully protected for decades. The Thompson case was no longer just a family mystery. It had become a profound exploration of human nature, of the lengths people will go to protect themselves, and of the devastating consequences of secrets left unspoken. As the final pieces fell into place, researchers were left with a chilling realization. Some truths are so devastating that they were never meant to be discovered. In the end, the Thompson family's story serves as a haunting reminder that the most dangerous secrets are not those hidden in distant places, but those concealed within the very fabric of family, community, and human connection. Some stories are meant to remain in darkness, but some truths will always find their way into the light, no matter how deeply they are buried.